All right, thank you, Rachel. Joining me now is newly re-elected Representative Morgan Griffith, the Republican from the 9th District, who kind of starts in Salem and goes all the way west to the end of the state.
And a big chunk of Bedford as well.
And a big chunk of Bedford. It's an unusually shaped district, but congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So the Republicans won the popular electoral votes, and even most of those states that were swing states seem to be going for Trump now. Would you call this a red wave, and what kind of historical context would you put this victory in?
Well, it's certainly significant. I'm not sure I'd go so far as to call it a red wave. I mean, in a real wave, we'd have, 20 seats or more majority in the House. That's not going to happen. I think we're going to get the majority, but it's not going to be 20 seats. And you would have the presidency and the Senate. So I think that it's a rise in Republican tide, but not a red wave.
You're not as enthusiastic as some of the people I've been watching on television today, who are all pushing is like, look what happened. This is the biggest thing since Reagan.
Well, it's one of the reasons I'm not on TV a lot, is that I try to call them as I see them. And a lot of times people are in there trying to get the clicks and to say those things that push the viewers. But that's never been my style. I'm just going to tell you what I think.
You're a straight shooter. That's why we're talking to you right now. So any insights as to where Trump might go on day one? He's talked a lot about the different things he wants to do in terms of defense, the economy, legal troubles, the border, mass deportations. What do you think because he's got a pretty short window to get things done. He can't run for another term.
Well, that's right. Not only that, but you never know what's going to happen with the majority in the Senate and the House.
Right.
So you've got to move fast. He's got to move fast. I think day one you'll definitely see him reverse all of the executive orders that stopped his stay in Mexico policies and his border policies, which created the massive wave of folks coming across the border illegally. So you'll see that reversed. I think you'll see a lot of things that we call forgotten. This is what happens when you get tired. CRAs, but congressional, basically a congressional objection to regulations. We'll probably have 10 or 12 of those waiting on his desk when he gets there, and probably get some of those signed right away. But you'll see a lot of executive orders day one getting things done. Things like mass deportations is going to take some more time. You've got to get organized. You've got to have the right legislation to back that up. And so that's going to take a little more time to get through. But closing down the border, starting to work on revitalizing the energy industry in this country so that we can dominate the world again and take the place of Russia as the #1 supplier for energy to Europe. That's going to be important to him. So I think you'll see energy and border first day. Okay, very good. So last time I looked, there were still 48 seats in the House that were undecided. That was at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. How do you think the House is going to go by the time all the votes are counted? Well, and I think it's still uncertain exactly what the number will be, but I would say somewhere between a majority of 2 and 12 for the Republicans. And we'll just have to see. And obviously, you can get more done if you're on the 12 end of that than you can if you're on the 2. Out of 435 seats, that's not a huge majority. So we're going to have to work a lot across the aisle and work with people who may not be as conservative as I am, but who are good conservative thinkers. They're just not quite as conservative as I am in the 9th District is. But
by the time it's all done, the Republicans will have the White House, the Senate, and you're telling me as well, the House of Representatives.
That's what I believe, yes, sir.
Okay, Congressman, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be with you, as always.
Yep, Rachel.